June 27th, 1998, and I'm visiting at the home of my cousin, Trudel Katzer, and her husband, Dieter. And Trudel's going to tell us something about her past, as much of her life as she can remember, and starting back from when she was born and where. So, Trudel, go ahead. I'll say also, Dieter is here with us, who is a professor of English and German and history. And if Trudel has any kind of a problem with English, she'll say it in German, and Dieter will interpret it for us. Okay, Trudel, well, tell us where you were born, your birthday, and who your mother and father were, and so forth.
I'm born in June 13th, 1928 in Kirweide, in my grandfather's house. And I also grew up there.
What was the address?
Address war at that time Marktstraße 26.
What is it today? Is it the same?
Today is it? Yeah, it's still no, that was no Marktstraße is not. It was Hindenburgstraße. Hindenburgstraße 26. And now it's Marktstraße 76.
Right.
Changed it a little bit.
So it's, what's the address today then in English?
That's Kirwana.
No, I mean it's a 67.
67.
67.
Markt Street, 76.
Okay. And?
You know, what else you
Well, what region is Kerala in the Pfalz, right?
Kirwana is in the Pfalz, yeah.
Okay. What's the very first thing that you can remember? The very first thing in your life that you can think of?
Yeah, that's maybe playing with the girls around our house, next house, our next house, like Trudel, her sisters. The cow they had and the horse they had. It was interesting to get there and get to them. And playing with Trudel mostly. Trudel was like my sister. She is like much younger as I am. Trudel Matt. Her name was Matt that time.
And a married name today?
The married name is Plobner. Trudel Plobner. And she lives in Ludwigshafen.
Okay.
So, then my father was busy, my mother was busy, and grandfather took care of me a lot of times, and he also helped me my school work. And I remember at the first grade, grandfather came to look at me, and I was in a corner, and he was very sad because I was staying in a corner, and went home and told my mother, and I think my mother also came to look at me because I was staying in the corner and not playing with the kids there. Grandfather visiting me on the school, Schulhof. Schoolyard sometimes. And I went with him to the vineyards where we had apple trees, to plant apple trees. And he always was afraid when I went up in the tree to catch apples. So he was so not angry, ängstlich. Anxious. But I was, I did like this.
And your grandfather, of course, is Peter Schwenk.
My grandfather, Peter Schwenk.
Our grandfather.
You are my grandfather, yeah. And my mother was she was never there. She always has to be in the business or washing, do some work. I was mostly by myself or the kids around me.
What did what was your mother busy doing? I mean, she didn't own her own business, did she?
And she was she has at that time that I remember she has the grocery store.
Oh,
Like, yeah. Grandfather didn't. I think grandfather was, I said before, he was in this business. But my mother did it by herself, and my father was busy in the wine business. He bought and sold grapes and wine as a commissioner. Commissioner?
He bought the wine from the producer.
Yeah, and sold it to the Großhändler.
To the process.
he sold it he bought it from the
From the producer,
from the
farm.
person who grew the grapes,
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then sold it to the person who produced the wine.
yeah,
I see.
Yeah.
He was like a middleman or a distributor.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
But did your mother work in that business too?
no, just after the war. In
After the war.
that time, she was busy in the grocery store.
Oh, running the grocery store.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and my father also was a makler for fields and
A makler
Grundstücke und Häuser. Broker.
for.
For Grundstücke halt, Hingert und
estates.
Äcker.
Oh, he sold real estate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and houses. Houses.
I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but I always thought that your father was a policeman, or was that his father?
That
was your grandfather.
My grandfather. That
Oh,
was
your-
my father's father.
Your father's father.
Yeah, he was a policeman.
I see.
Mhm.
So, as long as you can remember, that grocery store was always part of that Caerweiler house.
Yeah.
Well, describe the house for me, because the house is so small, and I remember, and of course I know from pictures that as you come down the road from the Hauptstrasse,
Yeah.
you see the grocery store. The first thing, that's what you see. And what was that? Is that your kitchen, or I mean?
No,
Your
there's
living room?
from the Hauptstraße down. It was this was the store, a door, and a big window.
Yeah.
And it was later our kitchen. No, it wasn't right. Behind this door was our kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
And the next room, what we had later, our dining room, was our living room. Yeah, but it was the kitchen sometimes too. They changed the rooms a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
That was better that way, But the store always has been just right on the street.
So the first
Second.
floor just had the kitchen, the store,
Kitchen, a store,
and a dining room,
and a living room.
and a living room.
Yeah.
4 rooms,
And my grandfather's room.
5 rooms on the first floor.
4 rooms.
4. The dining room and living room were the same
Yeah,
room.
same. That was
Okay.
one. Yeah.
I see. And was our grandfather retired when you were young, or was
Yeah.
he still working?
He was working for the für die Elektrokompanie. Der hat die Zähler abgelesen. Die
He read the meters.
elektrische.
He read the electric meters
Yeah.
to send the bill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. But he didn't work as his profession as a Zimmerman anymore.
So he retired, or he stopped working. Maybe he didn't really retire. He just stopped working as a carpenter, and
Yeah,
then he
maybe. I don't
and
know.
then he worked for the city
I don't remember him working as a
carpenter
carpenter.
in that
anymore.
house.
No,
Okay.
no.
Hmm.
Just for himself, he did a lot of things
Yeah.
in the house and
Hmm.
like fixing windows and
Mhm.
doors and floor.
Hmm.
He removed the floor in one room, as I remember. Yeah.
Did what about the house? Did you have a well, or did you have running water in the house when you were young?
We had running water in the house, yeah, already. But
So the town of Kerwala had a city water system.
yeah, but not didn't wasn't long before, as I remember. They had water, running water they had, but not canalization. It was all water was going to the on the streets.
Oh, they
They
had
didn't
no
have a-
sewage system. They just had running water for your sink in the kitchen,
Yeah,
and then that water would just run outside.
yeah,
And the toilet was just
outside,
outside
too.
toilet.
Outside too, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And how many families lived in that compound besides your family?
Yeah, there were 3 families. Next house was the Art family with their grandfather and 2 girls.
Hmm.
And then there the next house was the Matt family, was related to the other ones. And 2 girls too. So 5 girls and 1 little place.
Hmm. So, what are the names of all these people? The house right next to you, who was the father or mother or whoever lived there?
Next to us was Philip Matt, the grandfather.
Hmm. That's the one that they call Feathermott, right? That
Federmat,
had the
yeah.
beard.
It was Federmat,
Okay.
with bear, yeah.
Yeah.
And he was living with his daughter and their husband, was Louise Ort and Franz Ort, her husband.
Hmm.
And they had 2 girls, Katharine and Walda.
Hmm.
And next house,
Miss Katrina, how old was she? How much
Katrina.
older than you was she?
Katharine is
About
10 years,
10 years older
10
than
years
you?
older.
And
yeah.
Walda?
Maybe not 10 years. No, maybe 8 years.
A little older than you.
And Walda was 1 year older than I.
Okay.
Mm.
And then in the third house?
Yeah. And the third house was Jakob Matt and his wife, Berit.
He was the son of Feathermott.
Peter Matt, yeah. And the brother of Louise Art. Yeah.
Okay.
And they had 2 girls, 3 girls, sorry. That was Louise, the oldest, Katharine in the middle, and Trudel. Louise was 4 years older, 6 years older, so I know, 6. And Katharine, maybe 5 years.
Mhm.
And Trudel was 3 years younger than I am.
Do you remember the animals that were kept in the back of the compound that
In the back?
Jacob had? Which animals he had?
As I remember, they had 1 or 2 cows and a chicken, goat,
Mhm.
and a horse, and pigs, 2 pigs.
Did they have any geese? You remember? I know in the picture it shows a goose. Katzer.
No. I don't remember geese. No, no. They had a nice garden with a
Shade.
with a shade, where they had the straw on the fields, and it was a lot of fun to play there.
Are you talking about a garden right there in the compound, or a garden?
No.
Another garden.
Another place. Yeah. So we also had a garden.
Did everybody have their own garden? All three families have a garden in the fields?
You mean in our family?
Of all three of those
people there?
families that live there, yeah.
No, we had a garden.
Mm-hmm.
Means grandfather at the time,
Yeah.
and the family of Jacob Matt. They had a garden, and we have spent a lot of times in the garden.
How
and
far?
The woods around there were little
Creek.
a creek. Yeah.
Well, there
That
was.
fun to get
Wasn't there a creek that went right?
And the garden. Yeah. Also
Okay.
a very small one, but not far away from this. A bit bigger. It was a bigger water, and that was fun to get there.
In the garden areas.
Yeah.
But there was a creek also that went right through the house, or next to the house, didn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I remember that when I was there in 1939.
Yeah.
And that was,
playing ground too.
yeah.
Yeah.
How far away was the fields or your garden? Could you walk there, or you had to take a horse and carriage, or what?
Oh yeah. And we went there with a little car, with a kleinen Handwagen. Was ein Handwagen?
Handwagon.
Ja, Handwagen. Oder mit Schubkarre.
Or what?
Mit der Schubkarre.
A wheelbarrow?
Ja,
one wheel?
Das wird sein. Ja, one wheel, ja.
And you would you carry your tools to the garden and bring them back, or did you have a shed at the garden where you left the tools?
For stuff like fruit and grapes and vegetables.
There was no shade in the garden.
No.
No.
Was that not allowed, or did people not allowed to have sheds in the gardens back then, or you just didn't have one?
So kleine Werkzeughütte für die Gartenarbeit.
Was erlaubt? No, es war schon erlaubt, aber mit den
kleine
Garten.
Garten.
Ja, war nicht zu klein, aber war nicht.
It was allowed, but you just didn't have one.
Yeah.
So you could walk there, and what? How long did it take you? 30 minutes to get there?
No. 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Yeah, at least.
How big was the garden, would you guess?
How big? Maybe
How many cubic yards?
maybe 50 quadratmeters.
50 cubic meters.
Maybe 100.
Okay.
No idea.
Did you grow grapes too?
Yeah, later on, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a lot of trees during the war. My mother planted fruit trees, apples, pears,
Pears?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mirabellen and cherries, and everything.
Was there ever any
Anything.
problems in the gardens with people stealing things?
No, not
Crops?
No, never.
No.
No. And there was a tree your father was planting when he was a young man before he went to America.
A tree that was there before you were born?
Oh yeah, well, it was a big, eine Tanne, große Tanne damals. Was ist eine Tanne?
Tannenbaum, a pine tree?
Yeah.
It stays green all year?
Yeah.
Evergreen?
But I don't think it's still there.
Mm-hmm.
I should looking for it.
How far away was your school? How far did you have to walk to go to school?
Same distance. Distance?
Yeah.
I'm not 5
No,
minutes,
yeah.
3 minutes.
When you went to school, did you have different classrooms for every grade,
yeah.
or were they combined? Like in your
No.
first grade, did you have the first and second grade
First
together?
and second grade together,
Uh-huh.
and third and fourth and fifth, I think. And the other grades have been upstairs. Yeah, there's not one room for each class. No,
Mhm.
wasn't.
Did you like school?
Yes and no. Yeah, first yes, but later on I didn't like it so much. No, didn't want to go.
How many years of school did you have?
8 years and 2 years. 2 years in das Fortbildungsschule. Nee, vorher. Wir haben 2 Jahre in der Fortbildungsschule, aber nochmal kann müssen.
What's a Fortbildungsschule?
It was something special.
Was it a school like a specialty to learn how a special trade, or was it a continuation of normal education?
Yeah.
What did you learn there
Specialties.
for 2 years?
Irgendwie, es war eigentlich mehr Ergänzung an die Volksschule.
Ich kenne den also gar nicht.
Yeah. Mm. Then after war, I
Remember that the school you don't remember much about. The school you don't remember much about it.
did much
But you went to Maikama to that school.
Yeah.
How did you get
2
to
years.
Maikama? Because that's a
with a
good.
bicycle.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
Huh.
With a
Okay.
bicycle.
Did everybody in those days have a bicycle to go to school? Well, how about the people that went to that
Some
school
of
and
them.
didn't have a
Some of
bicycle?
them, they walk.
Well, that's a good distance, isn't
Yeah.
it? About 5 kilometers?
Yeah. No, not 5.
No.
2,
3.
2, 3
Oh, okay.
at least, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know what they did that time. No.
And
It
then
was
you,
not a very important
was it an important part of your time?
No.
No. So, what about? Did you say you went to school in Speyer also?
Yeah, after the war, 2 years.
Oh, after the war.
Yeah.
Okay.
In a school, it was like a das kann ich gar nicht sagen. Like internat.
Like boarding school.
A boarding school?
Yeah.
You slept there?
No, I slept with Annemie and August, but I was there all day long. But I didn't sleep there, like most of the.
What did you learn there?
We learned housekeeping,
Okay.
and cooking,
Hmm.
setting table
Yeah.
and stuff, and also what I really liked there, my first language was French. I was interested in French language.
Hmm.
And garden, planting garden.
Hmm.
And
So did you take 2 years of French, or 1 year?
no, just 1 year. Just 1 year. Sewing, and handed noodles, name.
It's what we call in the university today, or colleges, not today, but back when I went to school, they call that home economics.
Yeah.
And they taught
Yeah.
the women
Yeah.
whatever they needed to do to run the household properly.
Yeah. But I wasn't there till the examination. I didn't pass the examination.
You didn't
I
take
went
it?
out. I went out before.
You quit, in other
I
words.
quit. Yeah.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah.
So my cousin was a quitter back then, huh?
Yeah. So I shouldn't say anything about my children, and they wasn't crazy about school.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah. But it was a nice time anyway. We had a good time there.
well, Trudel, what about the your grandfather Straw and his wife? Were they both living?
They are both living, yeah, but my father wasn't much with his parents. He didn't have much.
They weren't real close? Or-
No, no. So, but I went to them sometimes on their birthdays, on Christmas. I didn't like it too much to get there because my parents never had been with me, so I had to go by myself. My mother and father made me going, and I went there. And
But they lived in Kirwala?
yeah, they lived.
Did they have any other
yeah,
children besides your father?
Yeah, my father had 2 sisters and a younger brother.
What's their
My
name?
father was the oldest.
Oh,
My father
I see.
was the oldest of the children, yeah.
What's their names?
The names is, the oldest sister was Emma, her name was Emma. And the younger sister name is Paula. And my father's youngest brother is, his name is Fridolin.
So jumping way ahead, are any of these people, your father's sisters and brother, are they still living, any of them?
Yeah.
They live in Kirwala or have they moved away?
No, they live in Kirwala.
I see.
Paula, my aunt, lives in Kirwala, and the youngest brother of my father, Fridolin, also is still alive. Yeah, my grandfather was he was a policeman. He was a strong man, good looking, strong man, and friendly, and strong but friendly too. He was well known.
Did they just have one policeman in Kirwala?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
that was it, and he was the policeman.
yeah. He did all these things. The police stations.
Where was the main? What do you call that? The building that's the main administrative building for the town.
Rathaus.
The Rathaus.
Yeah,
Was that the building right next
Next to us.
next to
yeah,
your house,
our
across the alley
Yeah,
where you go to the church? That was the
Yeah.
Rathaus.
yeah.
Is that still the Rathaus today?
No, it's private. It's all private.
Properly owned.
Yeah.
There's no Rathaus in Kirwala anymore.
Oh yeah. No, that's not. It's no. Rathaus is no more. It's in Maikama.
They've combined with Maikama
Yeah.
and St. Martin, maybe.
Yeah, St. Martin.
because
No,
they
no,
advertise.
Maikama. Maikama is the
Maikama.
middle. It's the middle, and St. Martin maybe is also belongs to Maikama. Yeah. Kirwala and Maikama in the middle is St. Martin and Kirwala. Yeah. Yeah, my grandfather also had fields, big fields.
Straw.
Vineyards, straw, yeah.
Mhm.
And he did this after his work in the time when he was after working. He did his work, and my grandmother also was working with him in the fields. And they had 2 cows, or 3, I think, and pigs.
Did they keep the cows in the field or back of the house?
No, they had them back in the house in Newstein.
Is that typical of that time, that people
Yeah.
kept the cows and
Yeah.
animals home
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
them in the
Yeah.
same house?
Yeah. Not in the house, outside.
Outside the house,
Outside,
but in that,
in stall.
in what I'm calling as a compound, where it was all enclosed, the house and the area with a gate of some sort.
No.
It was not? Well, it wasn't.
Ja, vielleicht missverstanden.
Dass es eine Einheit bildet. Wohnhaus,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Stall,
yeah.
Scheune.
Join, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, there's a big, there's
Yeah.
a big area there. Big,
No, we didn't mention the toilets. You had for 3 families, there were, what, just only 2 outside toilets
Yeah,
for the 3 families?
yeah, two together for the families, Matt and Art. And we had our own.
I see.
Mm. Mhm.
Did you help in the store?
Yeah, sometimes.
Did you like
but,
to?
When my mother gave up the store in 1939, I was only 11 years old. So I helped a little bit, not too much.
Why did they give up? Why did she give the store up?
She gave up because they had they were rationed.
Rationing?
Oh. Die haben Lebensmittelkarten eingeführt und das konnte sie nicht, wollte sie nicht. Everything was rationed.
The food could only be bought with ration cards,
Mm-hmm.
and she didn't want to do that.
She didn't want to do all the extra paperwork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's called
I think-
rationing, right? I didn't know they had rationing in 1938,
Yeah.
1939.
Right away, when the war was beginning.
Oh, so you had the store up until the war began?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Well, that's right, because the store was there when I was there.
yeah,
I used to go in the store.
yeah,
I remember,
Yeah.
I remember when you were in the store and you looked up, the upper left-hand corner was where they had the cookies.
yeah,
And I could get a cookie
Yeah.
whenever I wanted, yeah.
yeah.
But did they sell other, what did they sell just canned goods and things? Or they didn't sell like milk or
No milk,
nothing that had to be
No
kept
milk.
cold?
no milk,
Uh-huh.
no milk, no butter,
No,
cheese and coffee, everything,
mhm,
sugar,
mhm.
flour, vinegar.
But how about produce like lettuce and tomatoes and things like that? People just had
No.
that, they had their own
the
in their own,
garden,
in their
yeah.
fields.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
not that, but everything else, even buttons and nail utensilien, faden, wolle.
Well,
Oh, fabric?
whatever,
Cloth?
Yeah, clothes not, but
whatever they needed for sewing.
Oh,
for
so-
sewing and
Okay.
und Wolle zum Stricken.
Mhm.
Wool. Everything was in this little place.
It was small. Was that store as big as this kitchen we're in?
Ja, about, das war die Hälfte von unserem Wohnzimmer vorne. Oder zwei Drittel von dem großen Raum.
2/3 of the living room. Of the
Of
big,
our later living room. Ja, vielleicht.
But not as big
Yeah.
as big as this room, you think? No, not as big.
Na, nicht.
So this room is about 20 feet by
Maybe
12 feet. So.
eight Quadratmeters.
square.
8 square
8
meters.
square meters,
Okay.
maybe. Mm. It was filled up with schon wie heißt ein Schrank? Mir fällt ja gar nichts ein.
Cupboard.
Cupboards?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember the cupboards, and there was a counter like this.
Yeah, yeah, in the
And you
middle.
had things
In the
underneath the
middle.
counter, and
In the middle.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see, I have to think. When you were born, my father was already in America.
Yeah.
And when he came back in 1930, you were only 2 years old, so you don't remember that
I
either.
don't remember. No,
Anything
I don't
about that?
remember that. No, not
Uh-huh.
at all. Mm-mm.
And when you were a little, let's say before 1939, did you see Uncle Willy much or Oscar?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
They came by a lot?
They came to our house most every day.
Did they?
Oh yeah.
And how about Gustl?
Gustl also, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Now these,
Very close family. Very close family.
now these people are, let's see, Tante Caroline was the sister of Peter Schwein.
Yeah.
And Willy, Oscar, and Gustl were the children.
The children, yeah.
And they lost their father, Camera, what was his first name?
Joseph.
Joseph Camera in the First World War. So
Yeah,
they had no father.
no father, no.
So
Our grandfather.
our Peter Schwank
taken-
acted in
taken.
part as their father. That's what Willy had told me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's right.
And how about August Maas? At that time, you didn't know him, did you?
Oh yeah.
Why would you know him?
They came
Oh,
from
that's
they came from Speyer sometimes.
okay. That was a bad question of mine. Why would you know him? He's your cousin and my
Yeah.
cousin.
Yeah,
In other words, your sister, your mother's sister was
Yeah.
his mother, Frida.
yeah.
So he came over
Oh yeah.
fairly often,
Oh yeah.
and Frida did too,
Yeah.
to visit.
Yeah. Not so much because she was busy. She had students in the house.
What did she
Well,
teach?
No, she didn't teach. She
She rented rooms.
She rented rooms.
Oh,
She rented rooms, yeah. With 3 or 4 students mostly. And a big garden. Very big garden. Fantastic garden.
so is it true that when Frida got married, what's her husband's name?
Franz.
Franz Maas.
Maas, yeah.
Franz was from Speyer.
No.
He wasn't?
Franz was born in Maikama.
He was.
Yeah.
Why did they move to Speyer?
They rented which
An inn, restaurant.
restaurant, yeah. They rented a restaurant.
What do you mean they rented? They ran a restaurant, or they owned a restaurant, or
No,
what?
they didn't own it.
They owned the building?
No.
They rented the building?
Yeah, they rented a building with
And
a
who-
restaurant.
And who ran the restaurant? They did?
Yeah, Frida and Franz.
Oh, so they
Yeah.
I see. So
Yeah.
they were in the restaurant business. Did
Yeah.
August help out at that time in the restaurant?
Oh no, he was.
He was too young?
Yeah, he was young. And later, that was first when they went to Speyer. And later they rented a house with a big garden. And Uncle Franz was nee, der war bei der Stadt angestellt. Der war
He was employed by the town.
bei der Village in Speyer.
Okay. He was employed by the town,
He worked for the town.
and he had a house that was given to him by the town to live in? Or did I get that wrong?
Was? Was?
Ob das Haus ihm von der Stadt zur Verfügung gestellt wurde.
No.
Okay.
They rented. And
What kind of work did he do for the town?
was hat er gemacht? War Angestellter. Ja.
Well, he had to do, I think, repair work.
Und was?
Repair work. Du reparieren musste doch eigentlich.
Der Onkel Franz doch
Nee,
nicht.
der Onkel Franz nicht.
Der August war das, was du
Ach
meinst.
so, was hat er?
Der Onkel war bei der Stadt angestellt, und der hat einen Büroplatz gehabt.
Also,
Der hat später die Bezugsscheine ausgegeben.
ja. He worked in an office.
Yeah, yeah.
I see.
I don't know exactly what he did before the war. in
When
the
did they give
office.
up the restaurant? Oh,
That must have been early, maybe the beginning of the 30er Jahre. Yes, of that, maybe 1932 or 3.
oh, so that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I remember is when they had the house with a big garden already, because I was there on every year in vacation, school vacation. It was fantastic. That was the nicest part of the year. Yeah. And Tante Frida took good care of me, and I was welcome there.
Well, tell me something about Peter Schwank. What kind of man was he? Was he a tall man, short,
No, he was
skinny, fat?
yeah, in the middle. Not tall and not tall and not big.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe how to say, just a Durchschnittsfigur.
Average.
Average.
Yeah.
What was his personality like? Was he
He
quiet,
was
loud?
quiet. He was quiet man.
Didn't say much?
No, I didn't say much. No, he didn't say much. And he was very quick in training, sehr schnell. He was sehr weich.
He often started to cry,
Yeah, he was,
to weep.
yeah, sehr weich, sehr weich.
When he was sentimental about something, why would he cry? If something wasn't going right, or
No emotion.
Yes.
he was emotional?
Yeah, oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
like I am.
Mm-hmm.
He was a very good grandfather.
Well, he was. Let's see. He was born in 1970, about right.
87.
I mean,
1980.
18.
1870.
Yeah. So when you were born, he wasn't that old. You were born in 28, so he was
Yeah.
only 58 years old when you were born. So when you were 10 years old, he was 68.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He took me along to Maikama, to friends of him in a restaurant. He had a friend in Maikama. He took me along. That was nice. And I got ice cream. We worked there. It's usually nobody, grandfather didn't ride a bicycle. I don't remember him.
No?
No, I haven't seen him riding a bicycle. Always
Did he like to play games or cards or anything like that? What did he do?
cards, yeah, maybe cards, yeah. But he was willing always when I was in my house of garden, my schoolwork.
Schoolwork, yeah.
Schoolwork, yeah. He was helping me.
Mm-hmm.
And always willing to teach me something and let me know. He was my second teacher.
Did he have, do you know anything about his education? Was he, how much school he had, or did he just learn from experience?
Public school. But he was a smart man.
Mm-hmm.
Smart man.
Did he like to drink beer or wine or both?
Wine, he likes to drink wine, yeah. Yeah.
Wine.
Wine, yeah.
Not so much beer.
And he made, no beer.
Mm-hmm.
Never saw him drinking beer. And he made his own wine every year. All these fields.
So you had a cellar then?
Yeah,
Did
cellar
you have
behind here, all
where the
the
animals were?
no, weiter, far, behind the animals.
Behind the animals.
Yeah, weiter hinten.
On your property or somebody else's
Yeah,
property?
it was our property.
Did you share that cellar with the other two families, or was that just
No,
his?
we had our own. Everybody has their own.
What did you keep in the cellar besides wine? Potatoes or anything?
Yeah,
For over the winter time, what
Yeah,
did you have there for the winter to live?
potatoes and kraut, natürlich.
Sauerkraut.
Sauerkraut made, homemade.
Mm-hmm.
And
And back in those days, did they prepare any meat like hams and keep in the cellar, or is that something you just bought from a butcher when you needed it?
no, die haben geschlachtet früher. Die haben selbst. My mother, no, they didn't grow it. They didn't grow pigs. They sold it and made their own meat and sausage in the winter time. We made it in glasses and boxes. And we had everything in the garden. My mother planted everything in the garden what we need, side meat and also potatoes too.
Was your mother a good cook?
No, she wasn't such a good cook.
No?
Yeah, she cooked very simple things,
Mm-hmm.
but good.
Did your grandfather cook?
No,
Not at
I
all?
never,
Never saw him cook?
no. My father, the only thing I remember he did was cooking coffee, good coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Was he, since he was the owner of the house, did he,
Grandfather,
yeah, he owned the house, right?
yeah. He was the owner of the house, yeah.
Did he act like the authority figure, or did he more or less let Lena and
Yeah.
Otto take care of things since he was retired?
Lena.
Lena?
Let Lena taking care of the house, yeah. Lena was the boss in the house.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So how did Peter get along with Lena?
Pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they had little, like father and daughter.
Small arguments.
But
Nothing
they
big.
get along good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My mother was lebhafte person.
Lively.
Lively,
Mm-hmm.
and emotionally too.
Your mother was a small person,
Small,
and she
yeah.
reminds me a lot of my daughter Susie.
Small person.
Yeah.
Mm.
How
Very
always-
quick, did everything very quick
Right.
and loud.
And loud. That's Susie too. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'm back with Trudel. It's July 1st, 1998, and Trudel's going to talk about her experience during the war years, World War II. And of course, if she thinks of anything else, it doesn't have to be World War II, but whatever she wants to say. I'm going to give a little bit of history for the first time about my experience in World War II. And that was when I was a 6-year-old boy, going on 7 in October. I went to Germany in the summer of 1939, and saw Trudel and her mother Lena and all my relatives, my grandfather Peter, for the first time. And Mom, after a while, left me with the Kirweiler family, and from there, somehow, I learned how to speak German. And when I returned to America, I could not speak any English, not at all. My recollection of Peter Schwank is, I remember him being the same person that Trudel describes. I thought he was kind of quiet. The people were all very friendly to me. And as far as the war is concerned, the only thing I remember at all in Kirweiler to do with maybe the years of the war clouds forming were twice. Once when there were some German soldiers that were hiking through the town. It was not anything rigid, just a very informal walk with the soldiers. I don't recall any tanks or anything like that. They did have rifles. And they were laughing and talking and carrying on. And the people in the village, as they went through the village, were giving them wine to drink, and they would break out of ranks and drink wine. And it just seemed like a normal, not a march at all, just a hike. Then the other time was, I was there, it was late in the day, and there was a couple of nuns, at least 2 Catholic nuns, maybe 3, and a number of children that were walking down the street in Kirweiler, coming by the house, and it was more of a joyous time. I do remember for sure the boys had the brown shirts, because I did like the brown shirt while I was in Germany, and at the time I had wanted one, and my mother wouldn't buy me one. However, later on, after looking at some pictures, I realized I did have one, so I got one someplace. Anyway, there were boys and girls, and it was more like a Boy Scout and Girl Scout type thing, not anything at all like we learned about later, about like the Hitler Youth. It was not at all like that. That's it for Kerwaller. Then when I went to other towns like Ludwigshafen, where my sister, my mother's sister, Lutta lived, it was, you saw displays of tanks around the town. You saw military equipment being moved, not in a very fast manner as though there was anything urgent, but there definitely was equipment around. In the town of Neustadt, right down the street from Kerwaller, where my grandfather had something to do with the volunteer fire department, he apparently was in charge of sounding any kind of an alarm, including an air raid alarm. And I remember working with him one day, going into the middle of town, going up to some building, up some stairs, and there was Heil Hitler's, and my grandfather did it, and I always said Heil Roosevelt. And okay, we just had somebody ring the doorbell. Trudel had to go answer the door, and she's got to leave in 20 minutes to walk her dog. So because of that, I'm going to stop talking about my experience, because I can do that anytime. So Trudel, when were you first, when did you first think that there might be a war? Do you remember thinking about it at all?
Yeah, because my mother was excited. She was very excited about the war and what's going on, and the news on the radio was something is going on. And she remembered the time before the First World War, and then I feel something is coming. And Oscar was one of the first soldiers they had to go.
Drafted.
Drafted, yeah.
Yeah.
And for our family, that was something, what shall I say?
Well, it was the first one in the family, right?
Sad, yeah. Yeah.
Well, Oscar just died, and he was 84. Is that correct?
He was 84. Yeah, no, maybe it was 1913. So,
No, we can do the
13,
math.
yeah,
But he
he
was 84 and he died in 1998.
yeah, so he was,
Born in 1914 or so.
yeah,
Yeah.
13 or
Yeah.
14.
So he was no young man. He was a pretty old person, really, at that time.
Yeah.
Because in when was he drafted? Do you remember? Was it 1939? Yeah, I think it was too.
Yeah.
I have that in the records
Yeah.
someplace else.
Yeah.
So at that time.
And the brother of my father also had to go
Mm-hmm.
that time. Other ones around us, neighbors, young fellas too. That was the first impression.
Mm-hmm. During the war, did you have any hardships as far as food? Did you have plenty to eat?
Not plenty to eat, but something we didn't have during the war, like butter or fruit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fruit, not fruit, that may be oranges and bananas. That wasn't what children did, chocolate and fat.
Mm-hmm. Soap?
Soap was short.
Mm-hmm.
Soap was short. And soap for washing, for wash stuff. I do that.
Well, you were telling me that you actually, from a standpoint of food, you didn't have maybe what you needed exactly, but you had plenty to eat because of
We
the
did.
farm and you stored things in the cellar.
So, yeah, everybody had a garden, so we had potatoes and we didn't. Food wasn't short.
And what about the store?
Not on the beginning of the war, at the end. It was after war was the forces that.
Did you have a was the worst problem right after the war rather than towards the end of the war?
Yeah. But the belongs to the food. It was the worst time after the war. Yeah. During the war, I don't remember that it wasn't bad.
Was there ever any was Kirwal ever involved in any way in the war? No. Was there any fighting or anything?
No, not really. Not really.
So when there came time for
some bombs came down.
Near Kirwala?
And 2 houses had burned up, yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And around Kirwala, some bombs had been down.
How about the neighboring town of Neustadt? Did they get more bombing?
No.
No?
No.
So they were just bombs that just happened to fall. They weren't probably targeted, I guess.
Yeah, but not bombed. Ludwigshafen, yeah.
Yeah.
Ludwigshafen and Mannheim. But not Neustadt. Neustadt. I don't remember really.
Were there any curfews put on, say, not allowing people to be out after a certain time at night, or certain places you couldn't go?
No.
Nothing like that?
Not during the war, no.
Okay.
No lights on.
At
Lights
night?
On. At night, yeah.
Did you have enough electricity during the day to...
Yeah.
Were you ever did you ever lose electricity?
After the war, yeah.
But not during the war?
No. I don't remember.
Did they use Kirwala in any way for like practicing any kind of maneuvers or... No? And now, how about when the Germans had prisoners? Did you ever have prisoners that worked in the fields or anything?
Oh, yeah.
Was there a prisoner?
French prisoners at first.
How many would you say you had in Kirwala, roughly?
Maybe 50.
And where did they stay? They have a camp?
They had a camp, yeah. I saw them in a camp. And when the war against France was finished. No, they haven't been there to the end of the war. But others, then Polish people and Russian soldiers had been there to work in the fields. Yeah.
They didn't do any like factory work because there was no factories there. They just worked in the fields.
No, just fields. Work.
How did the German government decide what part of the fields go to some place else rather than the owner of the fields?
No.
No, I mean
they just came to the people and
just help the people.
Help the people, yeah.
And then no one took the food to any place other than.
No.
How did that food? If they worked, if you had 50 people and the town only had 500 people. I don't know how many people live in Kirwala.
More than 1,000, 1,300.
Back then?
Yeah.
Oh. So that wasn't that big of a difference.
No. Maybe it hasn't been 50, so that's so, but maybe not that many.
Right.
Maybe only 25. No idea, but well, quite a bit, you know.
Did any of them work with our family?
No.
No?
No. We had no
But
use
we didn't
for it.
have big enough
No use
farms?
for it. No use for it, no.
Okay.
My mother made fields during the war, and I helped a little bit, and the big works that have been made by the other people, like the one they had a prisoner.
One family?
Yeah, they did the work with, with the heavy works and spread the billets had been done by other people.
What did you had a radio, right?
Yeah.
During the war?
Yeah.
Was it a shortwave radio or a normal radio that you could pick up? Couldn't you pick up English
Oh yeah, my mother did.
from broadcast from England?
Yeah.
Do you recall anything
was-
what was said?
It wasn't allowed to hear English station, but my mother always did.
How did they stop people from doing it? I mean, when you're in your house, how would they know?
My mother knew the numbers of them.
I mean, just,
yeah.
you just tuned in the
Yeah,
normal
and they,
radio.
And they spoke German.
They did?
Oh yes, they spoke German to the German people.
Did you feel as though you were kept up with what was going on? Did you
Yeah.
feel like the English were being honest with what they said?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Did they ever appeal to the Germans to
My
surrender?
mother did believe them. Yeah,
Mhm.
she did, and as a grandfather, as long as he was alive.
When did you first begin to doubt that Germany would lose the war? Do you remember?
Well, it's hard to say. It goes up and down, but it's hard to say. My mother didn't believe what would be. She always knew that's going the bad end. She really knew. I maybe not so. I don't know. Was not so. My impression wasn't so deep on this thing. But my mother, she knew it's going almost.
How about, didn't you say the grandfather, Peter Schwenkes, before he died or sometime before he died, had said something about...
About the war?
Yeah, about...
About my father?
No, grandfather, about himself. Before he died, didn't he make a comment about, now that I'm dying, or when I die, the American bombers will come? Or
No.
you didn't know?
I don't remember something.
Okay.
No.
Well, I guess that was told to me by Lena then.
Maybe, I don't know. I
That's
don't
okay.
remember that. No.
Fine,
Did you
that's
hear
fine.
anything about my mother? What he said?
Yes, I have it written down that,
Yeah?
well, I have written down two things about Granddad before he died.
Yeah?
And one was, and I assume it's true, the doctor told him he had water in his lungs
Yeah,
and, he was sick.
yeah.
And he said, that's impossible because all I drink is wine. And then the other thing was, he said, after I die, then when I'm gone, the American bombers will be here.
Yeah.
And he died in 1941.
41, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But,
I don't remember that.
no.
either, no.
When did your dad get drafted? Do you remember what
He
year?
was drafted in 1940. Let me have to stop again.
Okay. Okay, I'm in Germany at the Cap Camera House with my grandson Tony, and we have Willy Cap, who we're going to interview about his life, and his daughter Annalie is here, his son-in-law Gerhard, who is going to do the interpreting from German to English. And also sitting by is his wife, Elizabeth. So, okay, Gerhard, would you ask your father-in-law where he was born and when he was born, his exact name, and just tell us a little bit about his life as a child. How it was in Kirweiler back in those days.
Ja. Wann wurdest du in Kirweiler geboren? Und wo?
Am 5. April 1906.
Ja, wo?
Und wo?
Kirwan.
Bei dem Schwenk.
In Schwenkshaus.
Ja,
Ja.
ins Haus.
Mhm. And where did he go to school?
Wo bist du in die Schule gegangen?
Im Kirweiler.
How many years?
Vom Schwenkhaus. Schulhaus.
Ja. Und wie viele Jahre?
8.
8 years
8 years of school?
Jahre.
Okay.
in Kirweiler.
Mhm.
Kirweiler.
And can you tell us anything about life in Kirweiler, how it was then? Did they have running water? Did they have electricity? Did they have sewage? What was it like?
Kannst du etwas erzählen, wie das Leben in der Zeit war? Gab es schon elektrischen Strom? Gab es schon Wasserleitung?
Nein. Wasserleitungen erst 1925 gebaut wurde.
Water
Wasserleitungen. 1925.
1925.
That's when they first had water.
Ja.
And where?
Electricity?
Hä?
Elektrischer Strom?
Ich glaube, das war 24.
Mhm.
Ich glaube, ich weiß nicht genau. Also 24.
He means
Ja,
the electricity in 1924.
Okay.
Ja.
And is it correct that the well for that town of Kirweiler was located right in front of the Schwenkhaus, very close by?
Ist es richtig, dass die Mauer, die um Kirweiler herumging,
Ja.
in der Nähe da bei Schwenks Haus war?
The well?
An die
Nee.
Kirche. Die Kirche.
Brückenmauer gewesen.
There was no well.
Ein Schwenkhaus.
Wo ist die Mauer?
Ja.
Ja, die Mauer dann weitergegangen. Aber weil er weg ist und die Mauer gegangen, fast Maibach vorbei.
Ja, das ist aber so.
Wie
50
weit war es
Meter.
etwa?
100 Meter.
100 Meter.
Aber die
About 100 meter from
100
the Schwenks
meter.
house, there was a wall
Ja.
of Kirweiler.
Uh-huh.
Ja?
Ist doch,
Okay.
ist doch hingegangen zu den Schwestern, ne? Von Zweibach. Und bei den Schwestern ist ja die.
Ja, ja. Um das Dorf herum. Aber dadurch war das alles eng
aber
beisammen.
die Kirche hat doch so große
Und
Mauer.
dann ist es um das Dorf herum ist die Mauer gegangen. Und dann musste alles innen drin, musste ganz eng und ohne Garten musste es bebaut bleiben.
Ja.
Ja.
Okay, what are we talking about now? We were talking originally about where the well was located,
Ja.
and I thought the well was in front of the house.
No. It was about 300 meters about.
The well
away.
for the water,
Yeah.
and then then now you're talking about a wall.
A wall. Ah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we have an interpretation here that's not correct.
Yeah.
I was talking about a well where you get the water, and Gerhard thought I meant a wall, which was the city wall that surrounds the house.
Die war
So we're going to discuss this for a minute, and we'll be right back. record.